or not guaranteed money. For the better part of 14 years, I only did other things that I wanted to do just because I like to do them. But I did music, whether it was in the form of hosting karaoke, whether it was doing shows, vocally, or cutting demos, or whatever it was singularly solitary, focused around the core of our money for our livelihood came from music. And then he's always had a line cook job, and then he got his certification for a culinary degree, and so he's always cooked, right?
It's always been my other art,
But that's his way of getting out. It's catharsis for him to cook a kitchen witchery, if you will, because you can tell exactly when something's been cooked with or without love. I mean, that is something that is big, that you can taste it. You can taste when somebody cares about what they're feeding you and why they're feeding it to you for some reason, because they want to show love to you or want to reciprocate love in you. But I've never considered doing, anything else definitively.
Right. And
so stepping out on faith, as it will, in a different form or fashion, because we grow up in the Bible Belt, and if you'll let go and let God. And then we thought we were supposed to do, Christian music ministry. Not that we're not supposed to, but that wasn't where our calling was. And so we like to have starved to death and lost our house and just all this other stuff. And it's hard to live when you have no guarantees. When you can't go to clock in at 7:45 in the morning and get off at 5:45 at night, and you know that every Thursday you're getting a paycheck, that paycheck is going to have your insurance taken out of it, and that insurance is also going to be, divvied down into a life insurance policy that if death and dismemberment, heaven forbid, you have that to fall back on. There is none of that.
Right. As a starving artist myself, I mean, you probably had the experience that though it may be uncertain to put that trust out there, that over time, the amount of times you made that last $5 you needed the day before you needed it, and the time you got just enough gas money, it actually builds your trust in some sort of greater system or plan for your art.
It's a solidification and trust in your ability.
Yeah.
To make sure that your livelihood and your family are taken care of, because it takes a lot to put your faith out there and just say, hey, I'm going to let the will of the quality of my work, which can also be a bane because you can get so serious with it. That's where I've
that it's no fun anymore.
And no, oh my God, that's where I've been. That's the thing. Is like we did the guitar drop in Memphis with the Barkays and DJ Debonair, and anyway, and it was another day of work for us. We were treated to the VIP treatment. We were, the Caleb Johnson American Idol winner was there, and it didn't occur to me to not that night, but the night after, we were on the way home to get my kid from my mom and dad's house, and we were hearing it on WBBJ, and that's when I got the shakes. It was never, I've never lived in that moment of, there's not another step. There's always another step. There's always another booking. There's always a page to fill in the calendar to make sure that the electric bill's paid, the water bill's paid, that, and you get lost in that. You get lost in that and forget to remember to breathe and to enjoy what you're supposed to love to do.
I've always said that I don't get paid to play music. I get paid to travel. I get paid to set up. I get paid to tear down. I get paid to practice.
The years of experience.
I get paid to take care of my gear. But when I get there and when it's time to hit stage, it ain't about money anymore out there for me. It's about being in that moment. And she's always had trouble with that, and she's learning how to do it now. To where she's like, it doesn't matter right now. Right now, we're doing. Enjoy this. This is the moment you'll get back.
Like I took a real job.
Yeah, when you're a touring artist and you get paid even as a solo performer, like $250 from this bar as you're passing through town, they're
hard.
paying for your hotel.
Yes.
They're paying for your meals all day because you can't go work an 8-hour job that day too.
That's right.
So it's not just the 2 hours.
Away.
It's not the 2 hours they're paying for. They're paying for you getting there, going away, like a whole way.
What people see versus what's really going on. It's like watching a duck. You see them glide across the water and be all elegant, but you're not seeing them feet paddle.
There's a lot going on in the water that you're not seeing.
Yeah,
okay?
You're not seeing the whole orchestra of how everything has to go together to make this duck float and go forward and to keep it fed and keep it buoyant and it's like, and you hate to keep harping on that to people so that they try to understand, because people ultimately they just want to listen, they don't care. Yeah. And that is not a judgment on them. That is just the nature of the beast. Is that we do music because we love to do it well, and for most of us, it's important to us. But for them, it's their escape. You know, we are their escape. We are the icing on the cake of their everyday. Not to say that it's just me or you, but it's all of the entertainers in this area that are combined, that we're the ones that provide that escape when they go out Friday and Saturday night to any random place in this area. And you've got all the amazing artists that we have here. We are the escape for the 9-to-5ers.
Just tell me what the third song is going to be.
Well, before we get into the third song, I want to, because it looks like we got enough good content here with interview and video that I'm probably going to do 2 videos for you guys.
Okay.
Awesome.
The music only, and then the insights and interview.
Cool.
Part 1 and 2.
So to end the interview section, video, what's a piece of advice each of you individually would give to Mayfield artists in general, local artists? Because truthfully, there's a great deal of, I would call, folk art talent in this community that in bigger cities they don't have this because they don't have that roots.
You said it. I mean, there's be passionate about the arts. I mean, and not just people that are in the arts, but people that aren't. Be passionate about the arts, because the arts is what roots us to who we are, to where we come from. And so if you're not an artist, go out and appreciate art, because you will find an appreciation in some art that you never thought you would.
Even a cover band has artistry to give.
Man.
I mean, you're not going to get to see Led Zeppelin anymore. You're not going to get to see some of these artists that are never coming back again, but you have all these other inflections that are being shown to you by these quality musicians in the area. But my piece of advice is, don't take no for an answer.
Absolutely not.
Keep knocking on doors. Don't let the TikTok era keep you from making money the old-fashioned way. And that is beating those feet on the street and knocking on doors, and even if it's proverbial knocking on doors, electronically. There is money to be made in this. Absolutely. You just have to have the courage enough to go get it.
Even if you're a roadie, even if you're running the stage, even if you're an audio engineer, there are millions of people making money off music.
There is more than just being an A-list artist on mainstream radio as successful.
And it comes with more headache than you might want when you get there.
People forget that there are so many avenues to music. There's cruise ships, there's resorts, there's casinos. There is not just your bar life. There is recording. There is voiceover work. There are so many avenues.
Being a session player.
I mean, doing contract work for anybody, helping writing songs, doing lyricists, being a consultant. There are so many avenues for an artist who wants to do music, to make music, and to make money.
You just got to get there and find it.
You just got to be willing to tell them to leave you alone and let you go.
I agree. I think that's the number one thing with youth is we always discourage it.
Don't compare yourself to your peers who are buying the house at 29. Yeah. Don't compare yourself to the person that owns these cars and has more debt up to their eyeballs.
Yeah, because you don't know how they got all that. Yeah.
Because what you're doing, you're still living on cash. You're still living on the 150, which thank God we're past that 150 point for each of us for the night, But you're living on that. And so don't be afraid to take everything you can. Be passionate about your work. Learn about what you're doing. You don't have to take technical lessons or anything like that, but get to know who you are and what you're doing and how it affects others. Mm-hmm. Learn what your emotive quality is, or what your don't want to be in a rush to be a commodity at the lowest common denominator.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure co-sign on everything she said, because that's good stuff.
Yeah, and also people forget this. You need 1,000 fans. That's it.
Really?
1,000 fans who are going to spend $100 a year on your stuff. And that's called a super fan, and that's $100,000 a year. You don't need 50,000 fans.
He ain't wrong.
Or you need to make sure that every venue, your managers and your staff love you. Yeah. Whether you have 5 people in a crowd or 500, you will always have a gig if the managers and the staff like you, because it's different than what they hear every weekend.
And if you show up sober, on time, reliably,
nice.
Get drunk.
Be nice.
Oh God, do your job.
Be nice.
Treat it as a job.
Treat it like your job. Have fun, but treat it like it's a job, because it is. You're selling yourself.
Bottom line is, you're there to help them make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the more money they make, the better off you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's
all
symbiotic,
great
not
advice.
parasitic.
You guys know what you're doing. All right.